Out of more than 1,200 government and private hospitals nationwide, zero balance billing is available in only 87 DOH-run facilities and 4 GOCC specialty hospitals and 6 LG hospitals that are now being piloted. So wala pang 100. So 1,100 other hospitals do not have zero balance billing. Again, hindi naman kailangan agad-agad, but i-announce natin to eh. Iklaro natin kung ano yung state of the nation natin. More than 1,100 hospitals do not have zero balance billing. So, these are the details. A vast majority of our country's healthcare capacity, including 346 LG-run hospitals and 864 private hospitals, do not have zero balance billing. So ang mga kababayan natin, pag yan ang napuntahan nyo, sorry po, wala pong ZBB doon. This narrow scope is further compounded by geographical imbalances. 40 out of the country's 82 provinces do not have a single DOH hospital. So, 40 provinces, walang DOH hospital doon. Eh di paano? Sasakay ka ng tricycle, kalabaw, jeepney, para pumunta sa kabilang probinsya para maghanap ng DOH hospital. That is the reality. Again, alam ko naman it takes time, pero we have to be honest about where we are. The 87 DOH hospitals are concentrated in only 42 provinces and major urban centers. As a result, patients in underserved provinces must travel 3 to 4 hours across municipal lines just to reach a facility that offers zero balance billing. In urban areas like Metro Manila, bed capacity is predominantly provided by private hospitals, which far outnumber regional public facilities. So kung taga Metro Manila ka, mas konti pa rin. Madami na nga ang tao, mas konti din ang DOH hospital. Coupled with low bed-to-patient ratios and chronic overcrowding, relying solely on 87 DOH facilities is simply not enough. As such, in the 2026 budget, we had to push for additional funding. Funding, additional, amendment, tawagin yung amendment, tawagin yung insertion, kahit ano pang gusto nyo itawag. Pinagmamalaki ko, na pinaglaban ko ang additional funding sinuport ng ating chairman, now Senate President, ang additional funding for ZBB, 3.3 billion operation of DOH hospitals in Metro Manila, another 6 billion operation of DOH regional hospitals and other health facilities, and 1 billion for DOH Universal Healthcare Fund for zero balance billing. Kasi yung pondo nun, kulang talaga. Okay, I move on to another topic. Human resource for health shortage. However, facilities cannot function without health professionals. The Philippines continues to face a serious shortage and unequal distribution of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, dentists, psychologists, and allied health workers, particularly in rural and underserved communities. WHO estimated a domestic shortfall of around 200,000 health workers, while approximately 1/3 of licensed Filipino health professionals are working abroad. Mag-aral dito, naghanap na ng ibang future sa ibang bansa. As a consequence, the Philippines has only 21.2 healthcare workers for every 10,000 people as of 2026, far below WHO's benchmark of 44.5 health workers for every 10,000. So more than kalahati yung kailangan, more than double yung kailangan isupport ng isang health worker sa recommended ratio. This requires sustained investment, which this representation has advocated through the expansion of medical scholarships under the Doktor para sa Bayan at kasama ng marami nating kasamahan dito sa Senado. Tayo ho ang nagpupush niyan. Maraming salamat sa Senate. Additional medical schools and investment in allied health. When we passed this law, there were only 8 medical SUCs. Today, we have 28. I am so proud of the Senate for pushing for this. It is a collective effort of this body. We have also been pushing for more science labs because kailangan ng doktor ng mga partners in healthcare. So lahat ng allied health, yan naman ang kailangan natin din pagtuunan ng pansin. Nabanggit ko na nga yun, may shortage tayo sa pharmacy, sa therapy, occupational therapists, physical therapists, sports, sa speech therapists. Lahat po yun, kulang na kulang. Lab technician, yung kumukuha lang ng blood test, kulang po yan all over the country. And this is a whole-of-government approach. We need SHED. We need the state universities. We need the higher education institutions to be a part of this because saan naman natin dadamputin itong mga professionals? We have to train them, we have to encourage them to enter into these professions, and then we have to make them realize that they have a bright future in this profession, in this country. So marami pa talagang kailangan gawin, kailangan po ma-address ito. And I end on this interesting note. Today, and I've seen this a couple of times, may mga vlog po akong nakita sa Instagram ng mga foreigners na magre-relocate na daw sa Philippines because mas maganda daw ang treatment and care for children with special needs sa Pilipinas. And the one I saw yesterday was from a foreigner who lives in the UK. Wow! Wow! And I think that is a tribute to our healthcare workers because alam ko naman na may shortage. Alam natin yan. So may mga foreigners na namamangha pa nga sa nagagawang trabaho ng mga health workers natin despite the fact that sila ay overworked and underpaid. So congratulations talaga sa mga health workers natin. Okay, I go to another example. I'll try to keep this short because you've all heard me talk about this. Wow! And I think that is a tribute to our healthcare workers because alam ko naman na may shortage. Alam natin yan. So may mga foreigners na namamangha pa nga sa nagagawang trabaho ng mga health workers natin despite the fact that sila ay overworked and underpaid. So congratulations talaga sa mga health workers natin. Okay, I go to another example. I'll try to keep this short because you've all heard me talk about this. The vape epidemic. Data from the Food and Nutrition Research Institute reveals the rapid growth of youth vaping from 2015 to 2023, which recorded an increase in e-cigarette use of 0.8%, meaning less than 1%, to, guess what? 39.9%. Practically 40%, almost half of the youth are now vaping. Something that never even existed 10 years ago. A focus group research conducted by the Institute for Global Tobacco Control at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health finds a tidal wave of flavors from e-cigarette manufacturers have been embraced by Filipino youth since 2022, not even 5 years ago, when the Philippine government lifted restrictions on e-cigarette flavors and lowered the legal purchasing age to 18. 21 years na nga po yun, dear colleagues. But this Congress, not this particular Congress, but the previous Congress, reduce the age to 18. Why? I do not know why. The US FDA, this is interesting, dear colleagues. I reported many times that the US FDA has rejected 55,000 flavors in the US because unhealthy yung flavors. I researched again, 1 million flavors na ang na-reject ng US FDA sa mga nag-a-apply na magbenta ng flavored e-cigarettes sa US.